All right, Wolfpack Sports Nation. This is Chris Pally, your host, and it is time we dive into this Bill Belichick Atlanta Falcons news that is developing as we speak. A lot of movement has been made since Bill Belichick and the Patriots have parted ways, and it now seems as if the Falcons are going to be the landing spot for Bill at this point in time. Before we dive into that, though, just a quick update. We will have the wild card predictions up tomorrow morning before the games start this weekend. So make sure you guys check in for that. If you're new here, of course, obviously subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that way you'll get notified when that video goes live. We do I do plan on looking into the games tonight. That way I can be as informed as possible and give my picks. But let's get into it here. So, Bill Belichick and the Falcons have a second interview scheduled for this weekend. The first interview has already taken place this week. So it seems as if it is going to be not exactly 100% sure thing, obviously, but as sure as a sure thing as it can get. And this doesn't come as a surprise, right? I mean, obviously, since even before it was official that Bill was leaving New England, it always seemed like Atlanta was the best spot for Bill Belichick to land. They have the best situation of, at least roster wise, of any team with a head coaching opening this NFL coaching carousel round. I thought, some people were saying the Commanders were another good one, which they were, but I threw the Commanders out because they just had Ron Rivera there having full personnel control. We know Bill more than likely wants full personnel control wherever he goes, and Josh Harris was probably not going to let that happen, and it's even more obvious now with the Adam Peters hiring that we discussed earlier this week. So, I mean, Atlanta seem to be the best fit. They've got great talent. They've got, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London on the offensive side of the ball, who are very good weapons. Tyler Algiers, a solid running back option as well. And then on the defense side of the ball, you had Jesse Bates make the Pro Bowl this year. I think he has like 6 picks and the 11th ranked overall defense in the league in 2023. So Bill has pieces there he can use. Obviously, Atlanta's going to need a quarterback. They're going to be potentially lose both of their sack leaders, Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell, are unrestricted free agents. Agents possible they could lose both of them if they don't get them locked down to contracts. So, so Bill has some decisions to make. He's going to have to build and fill in pieces on this roster if they want to compete. But they've been right there, man. The past 2 seasons, they've been close to being a playoff team. Now I know the NFC South has been not good these past 2 seasons, but Atlanta's been there in the postseason, and Arthur Blank is probably willing to allow Bill Belichick to gain full personnel control as well as being head coach if it means getting Atlanta back to double-digit wins, back to deep runs in the postseason like they had with Mike Smith was there as the head coach. Because Atlanta, I mean, was one of the best franchises in the NFL early to mid 2010s. And ever since Mike Smith got fired, it's been downhill since then. Roddy White's left. Julio Jones is no longer there. Matt Ryan went to Indy and then retired. The team has not been great in years, arguably since can argue since the Super Bowl run when they choked a big lead in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Ironically, with Bill Belichick as their head coach. So, I mean, this seems to be the best spot for Bill. The Commanders seem to be moving in a different direction, even though they have a whole bunch of draft capital. They have the most projected cap base in the league. Bill could have built a team there, but he wouldn't have the amount of power that he wants, preferably there in Washington. The Chargers seem to be the second most likely destination, but they're going after Jim Harbaugh. Who knows what's going to happen there if they get Harbaugh or not. If they don't, Bill could have obviously interviewed there before taking the Falcons job, but at that point, Bill might already have the Falcons job before that opens up, even though we know the Chargers, unlike the Falcons, don't have to worry about the quarterback situation because Herbert is locked into a massive contract there in LA. And of course, Bill's not going to go to Carolina with the massive rebuild that's going on in Carolina, and the fact that Bill, at 72 years of age, I mean, that's obviously a factor. I mean, all you got to do is look at Nick Saban to see that as a factor that is going to be taken into consideration for both Bill and any organization that wants him. Plus, Atlanta right now probably offers Bill the most likely chance to win and break the all-time wins record. The Chargers offer that opportunity too, but I think the Chargers obviously are going to want to dump a lot of their key talent in order to create some cap space so that way they can start their rebuild as well after a disappointing 2023 season. So I don't know. I think this is going to be a very good move for Bill. As for the Falcons, it might be looks to be a great short-term fix, but maybe not a great long-term fix unless they can get somebody underneath Bill as a coordinator who's young, who's potentially a guy that can be close to being a head coaching candidate, but isn't fully there yet. Whether that be an OC, a DC, maybe it's a position coach who's willing to take the next step up that can be a coordinator under Bill and can learn under Bill for 2 or 3 years and then take it to that spot. If the Atlanta Falcons do it that way, then I can see it being a good long-term solution. But right now, on the Falcons side of things, it's a very good short-term solution, but not a very good long-term one. But we know how these things go. You can hire somebody young guy expecting them to be a long-term solution. It doesn't work. I'm just looking at a team like the Packers, a team like the Rams, or a team like the 49ers who went out and grabbed these younger coaches who have experience like LaFleur, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, who have great experience as coordinators who became head coach they took chances on, and now all three franchises are in good spots because they got young head coaches, they've been building up perfectly through the draft, through free agency, and are successful. And the Falcons tried to do that with Arthur Smith, and it didn't work. Now they're trying to go to the opposite side of the spectrum with Bill. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think it's a great fit for Bill. But for the Falcons, good in the short term, bad in the long term if this actually happens and they come to an agreement. So guess we'll have to wait and see. The interview is going to take place this weekend. Obviously, we'll probably hear more reports and news coming out of it. They'll probably wait till Monday to break any new news if they do decide to come to a verbal agreement on a contract, given the fact that there's playoff games this weekend. So yeah. If you guys agree with me, let me know down in the comments. Like I said, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well. We will have, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we will have my divisional picks tomorrow before the game starts. So have a good rest of your Friday. I'll see y'all later.